Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today is my last day in Illinois, so after today we will be headed back to Miami. We'll be used to the regular quality, the regular setup, all that good stuff. But one more day, of having to deal with this. Hopefully it hasn't been too bad for you guys. But today I want to talk about a recent video and some recent trash talk that has been coming out. This is surrounding FlyQuest's new superstar Korean 80 carry. This is Prince, the guy who I believe he played on Live Sandbox last year, coming over from Korea. And again, like I said, now on to FlyQuest. Ashley Kang recently put out this interview on Horizon Esports, and I really do believe that Ashley Kang has been doing some of the best work in like the interview space lately, especially because we've had so many big name Korean players coming over to the West. And just having her being able, to be bilingual and the great job they do with the translation and the closed captions and all that stuff, it's been absolutely insane. I watched so much of her content last year with Berserker, and now getting to see the stuff with Prince, and I'm sure she's going to do more stuff with, like Vikla and Berserker again this year and all this stuff. It's just been absolute smash hits, super high quality content that, yeah, even though it's like a half hour long, I find myself watching every single second of it, and I think you guys should too. But in this video today, I wanted to go over just a couple of the key points from this interview. Obviously, because not everyone's going to watch a 30-minute interview, especially that's in Korean and having to read the subtitles and all that. I don't like reading. I don't like doing a lot of that stuff. But also, he has some trash talk for Doublelift that I think does make for a good story and a good video overall. So, a couple of the things that Prince has talked about here. First of all, his first thoughts on FlyQuest I did think was kind of interesting. He talked about all the players on his team. He said, it seems like Ayla is really, really good. Ayla is the guy that he has been talking to the most. It seems like they've been getting along well. He said when him and Ayla first started duoing in solo queue, things weren't actually going very well, and they weren't winning very many games. But I think they started to figure some things out. He also says that, it really seems like Ayla trusts him. Ayla really follows his shot calls. And I think he sounds like he really appreciates that it's of course a good thing, and it's good to hear that Ayla is trusting, hey, probably one of the best 80 carries in the world right now, so that's good to hear. He also said he's really excited about Impact and Vikla. He knows they're beasts. Spica, he came over, he started streaming and scrimming and everything right away. He says everyone seems really passionate, really excited. He is excited about his team. He has nothing negative to say about any of his teammates. That's what he said, at least in this video. Of course, the other question is, why the heck did he join FlyQuest? That's what so many people are going to be wondering. Why did one of the best 80 carries in the world end up on an NA team? And really, before this year, an NA team that had never really been like one of the teams that people thought could go and like do anything internationally or anything like that. Obviously that narrative has kind of flipped this year, especially helps when they have a guy like Prince joining their team. But he said it was crazy this offseason. He said he got offers and interest from so many different teams. And that makes it even crazier that he ended up in NA. Makes it even crazier that he ended up with FlyQuest. But he said he got interest from a bunch of teams, but FlyQuest was just so persistent. They kept hitting him up. They kept asking him so many questions. He said early on in the offseason, FlyQuest was like, hey, we really want you. Here's our roster. And Prince was like, ooh, that's not a very good roster. I'm probably not coming to FlyQuest. But then as the offseason went on, FlyQuest began to make more moves. Once they got Impact, once they got Vikla, that really were some of the key factors in what made him end up wanting to come to FlyQuest. Not only was FlyQuest super persistent, showed that they really did want him and were really, really interested in him, and that he was their number one priority, but also they built a good team around him, and that's why he ended up here. Of course, I'm sure he's making good money, good terms on his contract, all that good stuff. But he's definitely excited about the players he's playing with. He also said, dropped a little bomb in this, that he said one of the players on the roster, not Impact, not Vikla, so either Ayla or Spica, and I would assume it's Spica, I guess, wasn't going to come to FlyQuest unless Prince joined. So that makes it kind of interesting. Again, was it Ayla? Was it Spica? I think it's probably more likely Spica, because Ayla's like a rookie and just trying to get any shot in the LCS at this point, I'm sure. But maybe the support wanted to play with a certain 80 carry. But yeah, if Prince didn't come to FlyQuest, it sounds like this whole roster may have never even developed. Kind of a spicy little bit there. And then he also talks about him coming to NA, because many people are worried about Korean imports coming over to North America. Many of them come over just to, secure the bag or kick their feet up and chill, because LA is more fun and NA League is more laid back and it's, less work and all this stuff. And Prince is like, hey, I'm not worried about that. He's like, I've gone through, tumultuous stretches of my career. It sounds like he said he won't go into the details and everything, but it sounds like he's played on bad teams, sounds like he's played in bad environments. He said the stuff around him doesn't stop how good he's going to play. And he said, if anything, if his team does start to play bad or gets uninspired or unmotivated or whatever, he's going to be the one that gets people going and gets people excited. And he said it's never going to affect his own play. So he's not worried about coming to North America because he thinks he's already gone through some really hard stuff in his career. And even if it is tough to be successful in North America for XYZ reasons, solo queue, cultural differences, language barriers, player pools, infrastructure coach, whatever, he says he thinks he can rise up through all of that. So he is not worried. And that is, of course, very, very exciting to hear. And it's not like this is a guy who's washed up at the end of his career just coming over to get one last paycheck. This is a guy who, again, last year was one of the best 80 carries in Korea, and by that moniker, one of the best 80 carries in the world. But the coolest thing about Prince, and this is something that I did not know, is apparently, we know Korean players are all super respectful, soft-spoken, all that stuff. But apparently Prince, at least by the LCK standards, is one of the biggest trash talkers, which is pretty interesting, pretty exciting, pretty funny. I think that's obviously going to translate really, really well to the LCS. And here were some words that he had for Doublelift during this interview.
제가 원딜을 더블리프트를 보고 시작을 했잖아요. 이제 저한테 지고 그만두게 되더라도 부끄럽지 않게 최선을 다하겠습니다. 경기에서 만나게 된다면.
아 정말요?
네.
아 프린스 선수한테 지고 그만두게 되더라도 이게 무슨 뜻인가요?
제가 더블리프트를 보고
예.
원딜을 시작을 했으니까
예.
이제 더블리프트는
예.
이제 저한테 지고 이제 그만두신 약간 반대로 되는
아
그런
소리는
느낌으로.
멋있겠다.
So he's saying pretty much he's going to be the one that makes Doublelift retire again. He's going to make the one. He's going to be the one who makes him quit once and for all for good. And that is pretty funny. And not only, again, I don't know if if he knows any English, if he's going to learn any English, but man, if he learns some English and gets some English trash talk going, especially against guys like Doublelift and some of these other bigger names in the league, that's going to be absolutely hilarious. That's going to be great for his brand. That could potentially, especially if he performs, could turn him into, a household name in the West, an international superstar, whatever. But also, as some people have been saying, on the other end, on Doublelift's side, that's going to be a ton of motivation for him. We know Doublelift hates, losing, hates getting trash talked on, all that stuff. So if he inspires Doublelift to play even a little bit better than he was maybe gonna, then I think that can only be a great thing as well. But again, you guys should definitely check out this interview with Prince and Ashley Kang over on the Horizon Esports YouTube channel. It's really, really awesome. All the work they do is absolutely amazing. But either way, you should get excited for this LCS season that's going to be kicking off in just a few weeks with this new look FlyQuest lineup and Prince, but also the new look 100 Thieves lineup, Doublelift, Bjergsen, and the bunch. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. But until then, peace.